Hey, I'm Chris Ralph, the professional prospector, and on today's video we're going to talk about where to find gold in Southern California. Southern California, even though Northern California is really famous for the mother lode and that kind of thing, there's actually huge amounts of gold that have been taken from Southern California as well. And one of the most popular places in all of Southern California to find gold is the historic Rand mining district near the town of Randsburg and several other towns just off of Highway 395. And if you come up here and you're looking for gold, you want to learn more about prospecting, what I'm recommending to you is come by Dan's prospecting shop in Red Mountain and come and see, because Dan knows the area. He's got pans and other equipment, dry washers and things that he can get for you, and he can tell you about the area because, like I say, he knows it like the back of his hand. You've been prospecting here for a bunch of years, huh?
Oh yeah.
And you've had some good success finding gold.
Yep.
And I know you're a keen dealer. You have keen equipment you can get, and I'm sure people come through here all the time talking to you about
all the time
where to go, and you have thoughts and a lot of experiences, and it's just a great shop, a lot of historic things. This is the place to start your quest for gold if you're coming to the Rand mining district. And I used to come here when I was much younger. I used to come here all the time, and I had a lot of fun finding gold out here. And I think if you're interested in Southern California gold, you'll have a lot of fun finding gold here as well. You've been out in not just Randsburg, but up in the El Pasos and that whole area. Some really huge nuggets have been produced from this area, and it's just a great place to go to get away from the city.
Yep.
And find some gold.
Yeah, this is in fact right out in the front here. This stretch of Highway 395 is historic because it actually started because of mining, and this whole area has found gold. Even in the Stringer district, Atolia, of course it was known for tungsten, but they were getting gold there too in the 1800s, dry washing the El Paso Mountains. I just had a customer come in here with a 5-ounce nugget. He found it with a metal detector. You do have to join some clubs. There's a lot of claims around here owned by clubs, and I get gold in the Stringer district. There's the Orange County 49ers and the SPMA and a few others, and then you got the PCSC, Western Prospectors. So there's a lot of clubs you can join, and I find gold in all their claims. And everybody thinks of Northern California, and I love Northern California, but some of you can't get that far. You can come out here and find gold. If it's too hot, there is some rivers and historic rivers like East Fort San Gabriel River, the Kern River. They had a gold rush up there. This whole area there's a lot of gold around here.
So yeah, a lot of people think of Northern California when they think of gold, but there's been huge amounts of gold from Southern California. And this area around Randsburg, they've had hard rock mines, but they also produced a whole lot of placer gold as well. And people have been dry washing up here for years and metal detecting since metal detectors became
that's how
possible.
They first started knowing there was gold here. They were dry washing the gold, and later on they would start hitting into the veins and stuff.
Right.
In fact, that's what we were just talking about, the Mojave nugget. I got a replica of it. That was a huge nugget that was found not too far from here.
So anyway, if you're interested in Southern California gold, come here to Dan's shop right in the heart of Red Mountain, and he'll set you straight. But for the moment, I'm going to start looking at some of the other districts in the whole area, and of course I'll talk more about Rand and Randsburg, but I'm going to take a look at all the districts that have produced placer gold in Southern California. So let's get started with that right now.
Okay, so let's take a look at the gold deposits of Southern California and where you as a prospector can go in Southern California to find some gold. Now first I want to show a map of Southern California, and I realize this is a big map and you really can't see much on here, but every little place where there's a black dot and a word next to it is a place where there has been found gold and gold mined, and so you can see there's a lot of places. Now some of the places on this map have only produced a little bit of gold, but others of them have produced quite a bit, really substantial, literally tons. And we're going to take a look at 10 different areas. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Now before I even get started, I want to make a note that there are many mining claims in Southern California. And just because you know that there's gold in the area, that doesn't mean that you have the right to go prospecting on someone's private claim or even on private property, because there's an awful lot of private property in Southern California too. Now, the main ways of getting gold, the three main ways are dry washing. Here's a dry washer here. They can be purchased from several vendors, but you can also make one for yourself. Sluicing, where water's available. Now, most of Southern California is a kind of a desert or very dry type of environment, but there are places where there are streams and rivers, and sluice boxes can be used there. And then the other one is to go out with your metal detector. This is my friend Dan, who was in the earlier part of the video, out with his detector looking for gold. Now, here's the 10 popular prospecting regions that we're going to talk about each individually. We're going to go through all 10. And we're going to start with the Coolgardie Grapevine area. Now, here's a red circle that shows where in Southern California that is. You can see it's out north and a little east of the Los Angeles area, out there in the desert past Barstow. Here's a little closer view of the actual area and where it's located. Coolgardie is well known, but there's also an area called Grapevine that's produced some good gold with dry placers. And it's been done dry washing out there for many, many years. Historic mining happened way back in the 1800s, but things haven't changed that much, and we're still out there now with modern equipment doing similar types of dry washing and still getting good gold. Now, the next place we're going to look at is the Dale or 29 Palms area. This is an extensive area of gold mines and prospects that are east of San Bernardino and kind of west of Joshua Tree National Monument. There's a lot of hard rock mining out here, and this is principally a hard rock mining area, although I know people who have gone out with dry washers and done real well. But there's also potential for metal detecting. I know people who have found some very, very substantial amounts of gold in this area. Literally many pounds of gold with the metal detectors. I know a guy who back some years ago found a pocket of nuggets with over 70 ounces of gold in it. Another guy I know found a single piece of quartz with gold shot all through it that had more than 23 ounces of gold. So there's a lot of gold to be found with metal detectors, and dry washers are also popular out here. Like, here's a closer map that kind of shows on the west of this map is the 29 Palms area, and then it continues right across on the San Bernardino Riverside County line into the Virginia Dale or Dale Mining District and on into the Joshua Tree National Monument. Like I say, some really nice gold has been found in this area. The next area we're going to look at is the East Fork of the San Gabriel River and Lytle Creek. Now, these areas are mountain areas, and they do have streams, and sluicing can be done there. And in fact, this is the first area where I found gold. And here's a closer up map of the Angeles National Forest and the East Fork of the San Gabriel River. And then over on the east side of the map is Lytle Creek in that area. It's been heavily mined for years. This is actually an old high-pressure hydraulic mine that took place at Lytle Creek, where they literally washed away a hill of gravel to extract the gold from it. Like I say, it was a popular area with me when I was much younger and still lived in Southern California. I got my first nugget digging around on the East Fork, a little picker nugget. I was mighty proud of it at the time. And like I say, there's water here, and sluices can be used. In the old days, people dredged up here, but of course, dredging isn't legal in Southern California, or in all of California anymore. This is a broad area. Our next area is called the Eastern Desert Region. And you can see I've drawn it on this map. It's a very broad area, a large area in the eastern part of the state, where there's a series of hard rock districts. And kind of like I described for Dale, This is an area where there's a whole lot of hard rock mines out here, many of which are rich pocket type mines. And so people go out here with metal detectors and have had some luck searching for gold in among the hard rock mines, looking for pockets of rich ore or rich nuggets. And this is a kind of a view of some of the mining in the area. You can see a number of little prospects up on the side of the hill, a head frame in the foreground there. It's been actively mined for many years. Another area in Southern California is Holcomb Valley. Holcomb Valley has been very productive for a lot of years. It is also up in the mountains. Here's a topo map showing the general area. You can see it's just east of Big Bear Lake, which is a very popular recreational area in Southern California. Like I say, there is water here sometimes that can be used for sluicing. And when there isn't water, in places where there isn't water, there's possibilities for dry washing. Now, Holcomb Valley also produces some really large nuggets, and this is a very, very nice gold nugget taken from the Holcomb Valley area. So it's got real potential. Another area to the north in the area kind of north and east of Bakersfield is the Kern River region. And there's a number of mining districts here, both hard rock and other placer types of workings. This is a better map of it, and you can see that the area is just downstream and both east and west of Isabella Reservoir. Like I say, there is water here, water enough for sluicing. And of course, the Kern River itself has a decent amount of water. There's a lot of recreational activity up here. But there is a lot of old mining, and some really good gold has been found in this area. The next one we're going to talk about is the Pyru Creek, Fraser Mountain area. This is an area that I enjoyed when I was younger and lived in Southern California. I used to dredge on Pyru Creek from time to time and had some good luck way back in the day. It's a productive area that's produced a lot of gold. Here's a closer map of it. You can see Pyru Creek. There's an area there toward the middle called Gold Hill. That's probably one of the most productive areas for this whole region of mining. Here's a view of Pyru Creek. It's not a creek with a huge amount of water, but there was enough water that I could always dredge in it, and seasonally it has more water when there's rains and that sort of thing. Our next area that we're going to talk about is the Potrero Picacho Tumco area, way in the far southeastern corner of California, up against the Colorado River and the state of Arizona. And in fact, in Arizona, just across the border, there's a number of gold areas as well. But in California, this is an area that's very popular. It's very much a desert area, but people dry wash there. It shows this is a large area, and historically it's been productive both for placer gold and for hard rock mining. The Cargo Muchacho Mountains was a favorite of mine back in the day. That's where the Tumco mines are. And then some of the other mines, Picacho mine was mined, I think, in the 1980s and 1990s. So there's a lot of activity here, and a lot of people have found some big nuggets, including multi-ounce nuggets. So it's a very popular area. It's dry, and so dry washing is a very popular activity for prospectors in the area. And also metal detecting. This is a friend of mine. Now, I know some guys are going to see this picture and saying, why in the world is he wearing a dust mask? That picture actually was taken long before anybody ever heard of COVID-19. So it has nothing to do with that. Actually, my friend had some serious health problems, which he later passed away from. But his compromise, the doctor told him, no dust, you can't be exposed to any dust. So this was his compromise, that he went out there with a dust mask and his metal detector, and was able to enjoy himself and find some gold. Again, a general view of this potholes, Chocolate Mountains, a whole district. There's just a very extensive area with gold scattered wide, far and wide across this desert area down in the far southeast corner of California. Now, finally, we're getting to the Randsburg, El Paso Mountains. This is the district I talked about at the very beginning when I was shooting that video with my friend Dan. He has a prospecting store in Red Mountain, and if you're going to go out to check out this area, maybe see if you can find some gold for yourself, be sure and stop by and talk to Dan. He's got a lot of information and some good equipment and books and all kinds of good stuff. So he's quite a resource if you're going to check out this area. It's very popular with Southern California prospectors. In fact, of all the areas, it's probably the most popular. I certainly spent a lot of time here when I was in my late teens and early 20s, going through here and dry washing. I didn't metal detect in those days, but explored around, and it's a very interesting historic area. Here's a topo map that shows a little closer in. On the west side, you've got the El Paso Mountains, of which there's a number of different drainages in the El Pasos that have produced gold. The best known is Goler Gulch, but there are a number of other ravines and canyons through the El Paso Mountains that have produced a lot of different placer gold and placer nuggets. And in fact, that the gold of the El Pasos actually continues further to the east. You can see there's a description there called the Summit Range that continues all the way over there, and there's gold over there as well. To the south, you can see where Randsburg and Johannesburg are. Red Mountain, where the prospecting store is just a little south of Johannesburg. It doesn't really show on this map. But it's a historic community where there was both gold and silver mined in the early days. In fact, there was quite a boom here in the 1890s. And of course, when the prospectors came out here, sometimes they had cold weather and had snow. But this is the little old western town of Randsburg back in the day. You can't really see the mines in this picture so well, but they were just getting started. However, at the same time, there were also early day prospectors out dry washing out in the El Pasos and in the Atolia part, the Stringer district south of Randsburg, and in the Summit Range as well. And so it's been extensively worked for many decades. And a lot of there's a lot of club claims out here. A lot of clubs have claims because it's so easily accessible and the gold is so good, and large nuggets are still found. In a second, I'm going to show you that the largest nugget ever found with a metal detector in the United States was found in this area. But dry washing still goes on, just as it did historically 100 years ago. People are still out there finding gold. And like I say, the Mojave nugget, which weighs 156 ounces, and it's on display in the Museum of Natural History in Los Angeles, weighs 156 ounces, and it was found with a metal detector in the Stringer area, which is just south of Randsburg proper. But there's a lot of gold found in the El Pasos, some nice nuggets, and even some really big nuggets. This nugget weighs over 2 ounces, and it was found by Pat Keene of Keene Engineering, which is a company that sells mining equipment and that sort of thing. Pat was out there in the El Pasos with his metal detector, and you can see that's a mighty nice find. And again, like I say, there's a lot of club claims, and there's a lot of claims, period. Of course, there's private claims. And if you want to get out there, really, you want to join one of the clubs if you don't already have some special access. Dan knows all about the club claims, which clubs have which claims where, and he can give you some recommendations of which claims to join if you're interested in that sort of thing. Another area that we can take a look at here is in San Diego County, with a special emphasis on the Julian and Banner area. Here's a more close-up map of it showing the area. Cuyamaca was also had some gold mines, and the mines continued on further south. There's quite a bit of mining here, especially in the Julian and Banner area. It really was mostly hard rock, but there was some good placer taken out of this area too. And I've gone up there. I used to go up there with my grandparents and dig for placer gold, and I found some nice gold back in the day up in this area. So in San Diego County, east of the city area of San Diego, is a nice gold mining region. The Golden Chariot near Julian. This is an extensive hard rock mining area. There's actually a series of mines. The Golden Chariot is the one in the foreground, but there's several mines both to the north and the south of this, all along a kind of a fault zone that were very productive of gold. And in fact, the first involvement I ever had with gold mining was here in the Julian area. My grandfather took me for a tour of the Eagle Mine, which was open for tours way back in the 70s, the 1970s, not the 1870s, the 1970s. And it's, as far as I know, is still open all these years later. You can still take a tour there. There's still gold to be found in the region, and it's just an interesting thing. And actually, Julian, the whole area has become quite a tourist area. They have apple celebrations in the fall and that sort of thing. Another interesting area that you might be interested in is the Saugus Newhall area, Placerita Canyon. Here's a closer map of that. There was a lot of gold mined here, and one of the earliest discoveries of gold in California was there at Placerita Canyon. There's some interesting stories, but this whole area, the Saugus Newhall area, has really been built up. A lot of places where there was just hills and open spaces when I was young and lived in Southern California are now subdivisions and houses and schools and stores and everything else. So it's really close to LA, and it's maybe worth exploring, but access is maybe a little bit more difficult. The famous story of the Placerita Canyon gold strike was that a rancher who lived in the area was stopped under the shade of a big old oak tree, and picked some wild onions that he was going to have with his lunch, and noticed on the roots there was little nuggets. And so you see in one hand he's got the wild onions, and in his other hand he's looking at the little flakes of gold. And that was early day getting started. It was before James Marshall made his big strike in Northern California. Now, if you want to learn more about the gold districts of California, you want to study up on this, do some research and get more information, what I would recommend to you is that you download a copy of this Gold Districts of California. It has information on all the different gold mining districts in the state, not just Southern California, but Northern California too. It covers all of them. And it's designated as Bulletin 193 and was published in 1970. And you can, at a couple of places, find this book for free download as a PDF file. You can also buy it, I think. I've seen copies for sale for around $30. I bought my copy way back in the early 1970s when there was no internet that you could download copies for a free PDF file. But if you're interested, like I say, you can download it for free and look at it on your computer. Just search the internet with Google and use the Gold Districts of California by William Clark, Bulletin 193, and you should be able to find a place where you can download a free copy of this. So that is a little bit about the gold districts of Southern California. There's certainly a lot of them, And learning more about the different districts, this gold districts of California, will give you the information you need. But there's also the other side of the skill of finding gold is knowing when you get out to the field, when you get out to one of these mining districts, where do you dig? How do you find that gold? Once you put yourself in the right place, how do you find it? Where do you dig? What do you do? Well, I wrote a book about it called Fistful of Gold, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my book right now.
So let me tell you a little bit more about my book. It's called Fistful of Gold, and I wrote it because I want you to be able to go out and find for yourself Fistful of Gold. And you can see that it's an encyclopedia with all kinds of information, pictures, and that sort of thing. It's not in color, but color would have cost me a lot more to have printed, and so the book would have cost a lot more. It's for sale on Amazon, and you can pick it up. I'll put a link in the description below. I also serve as the editor for a prospecting magazine. It's ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal. And honestly, you should check that out. We got stories and information, legal stuff, everything you know to increase your skills as a prospector. I write articles in this every month, and a lot of other very experienced prospectors contribute to the magazine as well. So check the magazine out. Also, I have a website, and the website is at NevadaOutbackGems.com. I'll put a link for it in the description below, but there's gobs of information there that you will find useful in your prospecting efforts. Finally, I want to say that I really appreciate your comments and thoughts, and even positive criticism. Don't come on there and just toss out insults, because I'll just delete your comments. But if you've got helpful things to say and questions to ask, do write and put those in the comments, because I answer my comments to people, and you'll hear from me in responding to you. So if you've enjoyed this video and you like what you see and you're interested in finding out more, well then sign up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so they'll let you know when I post new videos. And like it and share it if again you see stuff that you really are excited about. And I'll be coming out with lots more new videos, and so we'll see you again real soon.